Parents strongly caution, the following programs are intended for mature audiences over the age of 18. These programs may contain some material that many parents would not find suitable for children and may include intense violence, sexual situations, coarse language, and suggestive dialogue.
Good motherfucking morning.
Morning.
So, unfortunately today, Rose is having technical difficulties, so she'll not be joining us today unless she fixes something in the next hour. Never know, fucking know.
Right. Technology. It's a pain sometimes, guys. It's a pain.
Well, especially when you live out in bumfuck Nebraska.
Right. I mean, hey, sometimes we can't,
I mean, that's not, I don't live there.
Now I know somebody in Nebraska.
Right. What up, Jesse? How you doing?
Hey.
So today we are talking about the movie Megn.
Yes. Creepy ass doll, Megan. Let's do it.
You know, I loved it. I was a little apprehensive at first when it first came out. Yeah. Now I watched the trailer and I was like, holy shit.
Right?
And y'all know me. I'm not a big like new age horror guy. I'm a retro guy. I like all my fucking like 80s horror is my fucking life. But I was really impressed by the trailer. And I know trailers can make a movie look so much better than what they actually are.
They take just like few little parts of the damn movie and now you just saw the whole movie. You're just like, oh, damn.
Yeah, because like it's just there's been so many horror films, especially the newer ones, that I watched the trailer and I'm like, God damn, this thing looks good. And then I get excited and I go see it and it's slow and boring. And there's like literally every good part of the entire movie was cram packed into that 2 minutes of trailer. So for a 2-hour movie, you had 2 minutes of good parts. The rest of it just sucked.
Right.
And that shit gets me fucking hot. I hate that shit. But this movie did not do that. Now, the thing that made me apprehensive about Megn was for the fact that it was rated PG-13.
You know, I don't know about that.
I mean, at least whenever it first came out, I don't know if they changed the rating, but when I first seen them talking about it, it was supposed to be rated PG-13. So, you know,
little 13-year-old kids to watch her, like, carve.
It is rated PG-13.
Wow. Well, it was back in the day before everybody got their feelings hurt by, sneezing the wrong direction.
True. Now, I mean, I could see where they kind of come off with PG-13 because if you really think about it, you really didn't see very much gore. There's a few parts, there's a few scenes where you've seen some, but it wasn't like an overwhelming amount of gore like you would see in the 80s, you know, because like if you had Megn in the 80s when she went up in that elevator and killed that boss, like you would have had guts pouring everywhere, and you never actually, you heard it and it was implied, but you never actually seen the actual wound or anything else like that. I think about the only time you actually seen like any kind of
slices her body.
Well, the part I was thinking about is when she was in the garage with that old lady, and she came out and shot her in the fucking hand with that nail gun.
Yeah, that was great.
Right, like, and she hit her with that fucking like chemical shit, but
yeah, you didn't melt their face off.
And it didn't really show it. Like it started to imply it, and you seen the smoke, but then it looked away, and you just seen the like bloody water, and it was just like a little bit. Like it wasn't like.
Well, what was that? Was that like because I wasn't sure. I was like, did she just put acid in there? Like, where did she get that from? Because I don't know if it really showed that or not, or if it showed something different.
She picked up a canister and was like dumping it in there and then started it. But it really, I mean, I'm assuming it was some type of, I mean, it had to be some type of a fucking.
Yeah, because I'm all sitting there watching. I'm like, oh, dang.
And see, Jesse, I'm with you. I'm a big Evil Dead fan. I like the campy B-rated horror films. Like I like a lot of the horror that people don't fucking like. So, you know, I'm right there with you. But this is one of the newer new age horror films that I the shit out of it.
Yeah, it caught my attention. Like, I mean, I like the real time blood. You know, like I want to know that really happens and you can really do that in real life. That's what I like about some of the horror movies and stuff like this one. This one was a little bit of the twist because you're looking at, you know, technology and what technology can do. And ooh, doggy. No way, Jose.
See, how I feel about Megn. First off, Blumhouse does a really good job with their horror films. They have the better series of horror films for like now, like recently, because they're kind of like how Lionsgate was in the fucking 90s. Wow. In the 90s, Lionsgate and like late 90s, early 2000s, Lionsgate was the shit. Everybody was fucking watching Lionsgate horror films and they were the top shit. But then here come fucking Blumhouse in like a goddamn wrecking ball. And they've been doing it. Like they've been doing some really quality horror stuff, you know, in the modern age of horror. So there was just a lot of really cool shit about Megn.
There really was. And I'm just saying, I would not buy my kid a $10,000 doll. I don't give a shit.
Well, she didn't buy it.
$10,000 for a freaking doll?
No. She didn't buy it. She created it.
I know that. But all of that, they created it. But when they were putting that out for, you know, putting it into, you know, the public and stuff like that, they were saying how much it was. $10,000. No.
Well, hell, people buy $10,000 sex dolls.
You're right about that, but this is supposed to be doll for children.
Well, I mean,
that makes it even worse. Now you just made my brain go in the gutter. Damn, gutter's gross in there.
I would rather spend $10,000 on a doll that could educate, but then there's also the whole point of the fact of, you know, they came up because I think they mentioned it in there, and this kind of applies to today where the internet has now become the parent. Like,
when you take their phone away, they do the same thing.
Parents are no longer parenting because the internet is parenting your fucking children, and that's why we are having the problems that we fucking have today. Is they're not being the parent because everybody in the whole goddamn household is fucking. That's all you see everywhere you fucking go. Walking down the street, every restaurant, everything you do. This is about the only thing you fucking see all damn day long. They can't get away from technology. So everything that they're learning that they should have been learning from their parents, they're learning from technology. And this was a huge play on that. I mean, unless you know, some people were kind of oblivious to what they were actually, it was almost like social commentary. to be honest.
They oblivious because they dumb as hell because it's freaking obvious. I mean, it says it very point blank in the movie. I mean, I don't know what to tell you if you can't figure that one out.
I really like when they take horror and social commentary and blend it to where it's obvious, but it's not. Like, you're still invested in the story without really like investing yourself in what the social commentary is.
Yeah, it's not overpowering. It's not like shoving it down your throat to where.
Right. And when they're able to do that, I respect that. And I think it's cool. I mean, it's a very cool art form if it's implied correctly.
Yeah.
If it's a good story.
I mean, it really did. It even showed some of the, issues that would happen with, something of that caliber. What are some things that would happen? How could you, obviously it's not going to come to life and you can probably disconnect it. But I mean, there are those issues, especially when you start programming things and putting stuff together. And, I'm sure there's about 1,000 of these things running around in our government somewhere.
That's scary to think of, but okay.
It really is. I'm pretty positive it's probably out there. I mean, come on.
Oh, I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that like China and Japan have been trying to do with robotics. And
yeah, because they're the leading processors for all these sex dolls.
This is true too. So to me, and we're gonna get into a scene breakdown of some of the really fucking cool scenes. My first one that really hits me right off is when that little bully takes Megn.
Oh, hell yeah!
I love
that shit.
that scene.
I didn't know your ear could stretch that far, though.
Well, I mean, look at mine.
No, I'm talking about like that shit was all the way up
right.
here. You can see the sunlight going through his ear.
That was intense, and it was great, visuals. But the coolest thing that really like fucked me up, and it's my favorite part of the movie, is when she looks at him and is like, "Run," and fucking she does that fucking weird like goddamn animal gallop. I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like,
"How about when she got up though? She got all up, Matrix style."
I know. I mean that whole scene was just fucking golden, and there were so many scenes that were like that, but that one was just fucking amazing. The next one I think I really enjoyed was the hallway, where she starts
running after him.
Yeah, when she comes out and does that fucking like goddamn dance, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on here?
And she did that paper shredder thing.
I was like, this is slightly uncomfortable. And then shink. I was like, oh, damn. All right.
I was trying to figure out how many turns homeboy had in this hallway. He just kept turning and turning right and turning right and turning right and turning right the whole entire time. I was like, where are you running to? There's nothing down there. Stupid.
That shit was just, I don't know, that I whoever fucking wrote this, like they just like fucking aced it. They really did. And I've seen so many people talking shit. Because they wanted to relate Megn to Chucky.
It's not even close to what Chucky is. This is more scientific. This is a sci-fi kind of thing.
No. And then I seen people trying to relate it to the Child's Play remake that had Mark Hamill, because that was a AI doll. It was a robotic doll. It wasn't a possessed doll. It was just a complete remake that Mark Hamill did a very good job. Not going to take that from him. He did a good job. But I feel like where they kind of, and I'm not saying they really went wrong with Chucky or the Child's Play remake. I just felt like they could have done better with it.
I think it's getting worse and worse as it goes along.
I mean, not even take away from like the actual Child's Play of Don Mancini, but the actual remake that Mark Hamill voiced Chucky, and they went just completely and they made it a robot instead of a possessed doll.
Gotcha.
Even with the gore, even with everything they did, Megn is still a better fucking movie. It's like everything that went wrong with Child's Play, Megn fucking aced it.
Yeah.
I mean,
why do they even change Child's Play? There's no. How does it go to being a possessed doll to something completely different?
There was some controversy with that movie. I can't remember what it was. It's something that included Don Mancini, and I can't remember what the hell the big thing was. And I think they were going to do a complete remake and make it a possessed doll, blah, 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 blah. But something happened and they had to like tell their own story and they weren't allowed to do the possessed doll thing. So obviously if you can't do a possessed doll, the only other option of making a fucking doll move, talk, and have thoughts is to make it some type of technology.
Yeah.
And you know, Easy is right. A lot of people are mad because both movies went with this whole protection angle that, you know, again, Chucky was protecting that kid. I can't remember his fucking name because it's been a hot minute since I've seen that fucking Child's Play movie. But he was protecting the kid, and every person that hurt the kid, Chucky was taking out, or any person that he felt like was taking up more of the kid's time, he took him out because he wanted to be his only friend. And the Megn thing was a lot like it. So they're trying to say, well, Megn was a cheap ripoff. It's like, well, yes and no. I mean, it's definitely not a cheap ripoff because Megn was by far better. So,
well, my thing is every time that there's a doll, are they going to say it's the exact same as that movie? I mean, come on, guys. Let's get over that one. Like, you can't just have one doll. Like, there's bazillions of dolls with different kinds of looks and shit. Like,
I mean, that's like trying to say like whatever slasher was first, every other slasher after that is a fucking knockoff.
Yeah, where's the first alien? The rest of the aliens are all wrong. They need.
You know, that's just like saying fucking. You know, like. I can't remember which one was done first, Friday the 13th or Halloween, but that would be like if Halloween, I think Halloween may have been first, but that's like saying that fucking Jason is a direct knockoff of fucking Michael Myers just because it's a guy in a mask going around fucking killing teenagers. Yep. I mean, completely different storylines, completely different characters, completely different bases. Just because they took a simple idea and these motherfuckers act like they're the only ones in the world that have ever had this idea. No, fucking, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
That's what I think. Come on, it was a long time ago, and we have so many other movies coming forward. I mean, I'm even looking at my background going, well, apparently all these guys, I mean, clown. Let's go for it. Can't have any more guys because the one person did it. Come on, that's being stingy. You guys got enough money. Stop.
Yeah, just step up your game, come back and do it better than the other one.
Right? Stop being lazy, yo.
It's a fucking competitive industry. I mean, it is what it is. It's just like the fucking music industry. Now, yeah, I know. So what you got?
Well, that's all, guys. That's all.
What would you see? I was right. So Halloween was first. Okay. I figured Halloween was first. I was almost positive that Halloween was first. So what you got for some of the scenes?
Which ones I liked? Hey,
yeah.
I did like the whole part where she did chop the person up in like little pieces after she got her wonderful little paper sword shanker thing. I don't know what it is. It's the little paper thing. Oh gosh. I you know, there were so many like good little scenes where, you know, they're sitting there talking and she, you know, you think she's asleep. I really like the whole fact that she was kind of sneaky too. You
Yeah.
think that she was off, like, okay, I'll watch my pen. Yeah, bitch, I'm gonna yank that pen out your hand, which I did like, even though it wasn't super crazy. But after a while, I was like, why is this freaking robot keep looking at this damn pen? She can do all of these other things, but if you go, hey, look at my pen. And I know it was a distraction because you had to do the thing. But
Yeah, but after that, she learned.
oh,
Because that
she
was the
told
whole
her
point of that's the whole point of AI. Like every time you do something, it's gonna catalog it, and then it's gonna fucking know. It automatically corrects. That's the scary thing about fucking AI is it's just so fucking fast it has one little mistake and it automatically self corrects and never does it again. Unlike humans, where some of us will just make the same goddamn mistake over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
right.
and you never fucking. I've done it before too, so I'm guilty. So
hey, I think we've all been in that freaking situation at some point. I did like, even though towards the end when they were fighting and the two girls were fighting and they yanked the face off, even though there was no blood and guts on that one, it was pretty cool. I mean, she had no face, and all you could see was the electronic parts of it. And even though they were pulling out the little parts, it still wasn't it. You couldn't stop her. Like, can you imagine a half freaking robot like trying to gnaw your face off or some shit? That was crazy.
Oh yeah, that's probably got like fucking unlimited fucking strength.
Yeah, and they all have superhuman strength.
Yeah.
Understand that. Why would you make your robot like that? No. My robot's gonna only go to a certain level.
Can we get AI food workers? I mean, they do have some of these new machines that you like literally. I seen the other, and not to get off the topic too much, I actually seen a machine the other day that you literally just like dump the ingredients and everything into certain fucking slots, and then you dump whatever your main meat or whatever it is that you're in a dish, and you push it together and hit start, and it literally like mixes all the ingredients, the exact amounts, everything you need. And then boom, it pops out, and you've got literally like a fucking home cooked meal out of this fucking machine.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's just like they got ones to make like mixed drinks now too, where you put all the liquors and mixers and all that shit into this fucking machine, and you pick whatever you want. Fucking say martini or Bloody Mary or whatever, you pick it.
Well, that
and
makes sense.
Automatically does it, and they got one for fucking food now apparently too. So I was watching it on fucking YouTube the other day. I was just like, you realize now, yes, technology is great, and technology can do all these things.
Keep jobs away. Go ahead.
But at this point, you are eradicating jobs.
Yep, but they're all whining about it too. They need to make up their mind. And do we really need that? Come on, guys. You're already being lazy and playing, your video games and staying behind your computers 24/7. Get your ass up, walk around a little bit, cook yourself a good meal, and then you can go sit on your butt again if that's what you want. But come on, we're becoming a super lazy society, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
but
I agree. It's just getting fucking worse and worse. So, I mean, this movie's kind of like a, hey, motherfuckers, wake up.
Right, and here we are today. Nobody's woke up.
Stop doing this shit. Y'all keep doing it. You keep pushing, and some bad shit's gonna happen, like fucking Megn. It's just bad on every goddamn fucking level. But like, with this movie, the cinematography was amazing, lighting was amazing, the storytelling was amazing. There was no plot holes. There was no scenes that made absolutely no fucking sense. There wasn't any, cheap fillers or anything like that. I was very, very, very fucking impressed.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Especially because, I'm one of those like pick that stuff apart and can't stand it. You got half of your lighting one color and the other half's another. It's like you I don't know, sound like you messed up somewhere. But I mean, I enjoyed it. And like I've said several times, I usually don't enjoy these movies. These are not, something that I watch every day. I'm the oddball of the group. So I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. It had a very good story with it, good plot. It kept you going. Even on the small little points where it was going just a little bit slow, it was building up that suspense.
Yeah, but it still made sense. Like it still
Yeah.
went into what was going on.
Yeah.
And that goddamn movie played on every fucking emotion that you could possibly fucking have within one damn film. Because when she was sitting in that damn room and little girl's like just tripping the fuck out, and she went over there talking to her and like singing and shit, and I was just like, don't cry. Don't cry. Oh, don't cry.
I know it was sad though, because you're like rooting for the girl, parents passed away in an accident, and now you're going through this, and then you got this creepy doll over here. Dang.
I know. I was just like, fuck. And they like show all the people in that room just fucking like pouring fucking tears and shit. And I was just like, don't cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. This movie's fucked up. I don't like this shit. I don't like the way it's making me feel.
Girl, put it back in. Put it back in.
I'm like, I hate this. It's horrible. Don't do this. I had to get some coffee. But I mean, even the design of the doll, like it looks good. It was a good design.
Very realistic.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good design. It looked fucking real. It looked fantastic. There was nothing bad about it. There was no shitty graphics. There was, I mean, nothing. Even what they used as far as CGI, even the CGI looked so fucking clean, like extremely clean. And there's so many movies that I watch now that have CGI that's like, you could clearly tell it's CGI.
Yeah.
You can clearly tell it's like choppy, or it just doesn't look like it belongs.
Yeah, it doesn't line
like super over exaggerated, and it just doesn't fucking look good. And at this point, it's like, goddamn, if y'all keep up with all this, like, damn, if they keep up with damn CGI, watch, we're going to have movies that are just straight fucking CGI, and you're not going to have actors other than voicing them.
Well, if that ever happens, I really hope that they, figure it out, because I still think it's weird. I don't care if they're all, robots and shit, but, it still doesn't look real to me. Like, I can see the difference. So if it was a whole movie and they just kept doing stuff like that, I probably wouldn't like movies anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I agree. Right. Because like a robot really can't show human emotion. I mean, I know they tried to make Megn appear like she was showing emotion, but it's better from an actual human.
Yeah.
And it kind of touched upon that too. Even though they try to go into like her being this AI entity and appearing to have human emotion, but she was only showing those because it was programmed by, what she was programmed with.
Yeah. They made that one small mistake of, yes, you're supposed to make it better and do, learn from your mistakes, but they're not thinking about all of the other consequences that come from that.
Yeah, because like as a robot, it's like I don't have consequences. I don't fear.
Like she did. She when they were asking her to protect the kid. Okay, for us, make sure you protect my child. It doesn't mean go freaking rip a kid's ear off and push him in front of a damn car somewhere and get him ran over. That's not what that means. You know what I mean? There's a difference between it. There's a caliber of where we understand that, okay, protect, bring the child in, guard him, do that kind of stuff. Not randomly, kill people.
Wow. Yeah. All right, boys and girls, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
We normally have longer commercials, but we've ran out of commercials for right now, so that's the only one we got. But I will tell you, please don't forget, Thursdays on here are big horror days. So obviously, me and Mojo will be back tonight with Easy 606 and Mike Slash for Buzzkill Cinema. We'll be doing American Werewolf in London tonight, so don't fucking miss out on that. I believe Hellfire Lounge is back this Saturday. It is. So this Saturday, Hellfire Lounge. Don't miss that. We do have some new shows that are in the progress of coming out. You've got Paranormal Gems that'll be coming out next Tuesday. So you're going to see the first official kickoff episode of that. Easy's got a show coming up before too long in the future.
Guys.
All right, I've been going slow because I've had a lot of shit going on, so I'm trying to get caught up here. But yeah, we'll always have new shows coming out, so just stay with us. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, all the good shit. Invite all your friends to like our pages. No, and also don't forget Wednesday nights, Chronic Sports with me and Mojo. And we also have a new co-host that will be on next Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. You guys ready for this?
Do I want to say it? Do I want to announce him? I don't know. Do you want to announce him?
Sure, go ahead and announce him. Why not? Let's let everybody know what we're about ready to have.
You can go ahead and announce him. You can do it. You have the honors.
Let me make sure I get it right, because we are going to have our Mexican. Now, guys, that's his name. Okay? Love
the
him.
Mexican.
He's hilarious. Mexican. So the can is the uppercase can, not Mexican. Mexican.
So join us. He'll be appearing on Chronic Sports next Wednesday for the first time, and we will be discussing the free agency that's been going on in the NFL. So anyways, all right, so interesting plot twist. Blumhouse does an amazing job at these modern horror films. And I always ask this. This is always like some of my questions. First off, and I do this on Buzzkill all the time too, so it's fun to think about. It's fun. If you were going to get a director to rewrite this and redo it, obviously it's too soon for a remake. But if it wasn't, who would you get to write and direct it? What style would you think that this would be a cool twist to it?
We need some more. So, let's see. Ooh, that's a good thinker. You know what? Maybe the people from Aliens. They know how to add that extra gore in there and how to make do they use CGI or whatever it is as well? I mean, They have a lot.
No.
Well, see, they doing it without all that stuff.
No, Alien was done by James Cameron. Yeah. No, I'm wrong. The original Alien was directed by Ridley Scott. James Cameron did Aliens 3, but Ridley Scott is the one that did the original Alien.
Or you can do what is the I was just talking about it just the other day. Where all the kids, what is it? Final Destination.
Final Destination. I don't know who did Final Destination. Just a little also put out there. Ridley Scott also directed Gladiator, Blade Runner, Prometheus, Gladiator 2. He did Alien Covenant, Kingdom of Heaven, The Martian, The Last Duel. He did a lot of shit. A lot of stuff. He did American Gangster, Thelma and Louise, Black Hawk Down, Robin Hood. I'm trying to see if there's any other like horror that he did other than those very few. He did Nowhere to Run. Yeah, he did it. The Boston Strangler. So he's done some good shit. It could be interesting.
I just like the twist of it because when you think about Aliens, think about all of everything that they put together. You know, the gore of it and the excitement of it. They kept it going. They kept it moving. And then when the gore part came out, it was freaking gory, right? For that time.
How you doing, Rob?
Robert?
Yeah. And, you know.
Terminator, that's a good idea, too. I didn't think about that.
See, it's my own goddamn question. You would have think I would have already had a fucking answer.
Well, you would think I would know by now that you're going to ask that question.
I think I would go two different ways with this.
Yeah.
I would go two different ways. If I was wanting to go old school, like old school, like 80s. And I wanted to inject like the things that I love and make this like hyper gory and a little bit ridiculous, but I still think it would be a great movie and a fun watch. I honestly think I would go with Sam Raimi, who did the Evil Dead series. Who also did the original Spider-Man and a million other things. Now, but I would obviously want it in a similar style of the Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Now, if I was going to go new school or newer, and I just like his style, very, very grungy. He's probably one of my favorite horror directors of recent stuff, like 2000s up. I would probably have to go with Robert Rodriguez, who did Planet Terror. So if any of you have seen the Grindhouse double feature and seen Planet Terror with like Rose McGowan and Bruce Willis and Quentin Tarantino was in it and Danny Trejo and a bunch of fucking people, I think I would go with Robert Rodriguez. But there's even a ploy to like even think about having Rob Zombie possibly fucking do it as well.
You think Rob Zombie with the whole like computer thing?
He wouldn't do it just because of that.
Okay, because I'm like, for some reason I don't see him as a computery kind of guy. I see
Rob Zombie's more of a almost like a creature feature guy. You know, he was big on like, if you see some of his older interviews, he talks about loving like stuff like the Munsters and the Addams Family and stuff like that. And then you see what he did with stuff like, you know, House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell. And as those were slashers, there was kind of creature aspects in them too, because you had the whole Dr. Satan thing. And I know it was supposed to be a human, but he didn't look human. Like he looked like some type of fucking demon from another goddamn dimension. And it was just some fucked up shit. I mean, House of a Thousand Corpses was a mind fucking its own. And it's still one of my fucking favorite movies. I love that fucking movie. It creeps you the fuck out. It's uncomfortable as fuck. And it's just, I mean, he pushed it to the fucking limit on that damn thing. So he could do it. All right. So if you're going to get someone to do the two main characters, so the aunt and the doll and the little girl, who would you get to replace them as actresses?
Oh gosh, I don't even know all the kids these days.
I mean, you can go a little older back to like some of the popular kids if you really want to go with that.
Well, you got to have a kid in there somewhere. So, gosh. I mean, we can really twist this shit up and make it a crazy movie. Because you want to know what came out of my... I don't even know why it popped in my head, to be honest with you, because it really doesn't match up. But for some reason, I started thinking of The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Betty White when they're around the campfire. For some reason, it doesn't match up, but that's what came in my head.
Okay. Okay. I don't really, I'm stuck on the kid because there's not really a whole lot of like child actors, not like there was in like the 90s. The 90s had this like big boom of like child actors, I feel like.
Either that or I just don't know the actors these days. I mean, think about back then, you were more of a kid, so you probably knew more of, the actors and actresses.
Yes, I don't either. I know they got kids on like stuff like Stranger Things, but all those kids are now like fucking damn near fucking grown at this point. I think they're like, teenagers and damn near young adults. So I don't know. I'm not
switch the doll though. I think the doll should be an animal.
An animal.
A wolf. You can have your own legal wolf. Because then you have a guard dog. And then you can teach it to behave itself.
But it can't talk.
They can talk. It's a robot.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
can you imagine barking and then have a little gun stick out of its mouth whenever there's an intruder?
I feel like human robots are by far creepier.
Yeah. Well, what if you had one all Cujo style? You can't tell me that wouldn't be creepy as hell. You go to your friend's house, you knock on the door, and there's a freaking Cujo robot dog.
They already kind of did that.
With what?
It's a movie called Man's Best Friend. It was done in like the late 80s or early 90s, I believe. But yeah, it's called Man's Best Friend. Actually, it's like half robot, half dog. It looks like a Rottweiler, and they like spliced it genetically with like it could piss like venom and acid and.
See, that sounds like a great movie.
Like it was like a lot of insane. It had like the speed of a fucking cheetah and like just could do a lot of insane shit. But yeah, it's called Man's Best Friend. So actually let me see when that fucking movie was done, because I know I was a kid when I seen it. And I've only seen it one time. Yep, there it is, 1993. Is when that movie was done, with Lance Henriksen was in it.
So what if you made a movie with all the characters, like all these people that are up behind me, and then they're against the robots? So the robots and the aliens against the Jasons, Freddys, and all those. Let's do this like Rogue style.
Now we're just going fucking crazy. All right, if you're going to stay on the actual path of the movie.
No!
That's because me and you can't think of fucking actresses to take these spots. So we're just like going nuts with it and off the wall.
Well, it would be kind of cool. Be all Spartan style. Let's fight to the death. Let's see who wins. Kind of like the Alien versus Predator.
I'm actually glad you brought that up, because, and this still applies to Megan, I've been seeing a lot of reports about Megn 2 being in production with a possible cameo of Chucky.
Oh, no. Because you want to know what that's going to do? That's going to put everybody that was all butthurt about the fact that they might be somewhat alike. I think Chucky's not as good. Sorry, guys. Chucky is not as good as what Megn was. For me. Chucky is different. It has more of a comical side to it. It has, it's like comical horror. That's what I kind of put it in. This one is different.
Well, see, I want to know which Chucky. Are we talking Don Mancini's Chucky? Or are we talking about the robot Chucky. They didn't specify. Because the robot Chucky did not have the comedy stuff with it. So, which Chucky are we talking about?
True, it'll be interesting to know which one.
I don't know who did the new Child's Play remake. Let me see because if it's Blumhouse, that answers our question.
Yeah. I just don't think I guess if that's what they want to do, they're going to do it, right? But to me, if you already had that controversy, why are you going to bring it into there unless you're just going to make the money off the controversy? And then, well, you know what? That's good business. So do what you got to do.
I'm trying to see who did it. Oh my God. Well, Don Mancini was credited as a writer on it, which shocks the shit out of me.
Well, maybe that's why there's a merge, kind of,
Huh. That's extremely interesting. But I'm not seeing what let me see if I can find what company did it. It was done by Orion Pictures.
All right.
So it is not Blumhouse. But not to say that they wouldn't do it.
It's a good possibility it could happen.
If I was gonna do a cross between the two, I would do the robot Chucky because that's just what fucking makes sense.
It does make sense, unless they're gonna rebuild the Chucky.
Like bringing in the original Chucky doesn't really make sense. It doesn't go into the plot of the storyline. You have a robotic doll now. All of a sudden, you have a fucking possessed doll by a serial killer. It just doesn't. To me, it just doesn't. It's not a cohesive. What?
Does not compute.
No, it's not a cohesive film, but I do feel like it would be interesting if you did the robot Chucky, because both Megn and Robot Chucky kind of had the same. They were doing the same things, and it's kind of like, what are they going to do? Like pit them up to see which one is more efficient, and then they just both go fucking AWOL. Are they going to go after each other, or do they join forces and go after people?
Yeah.
What are we talking here? Because I'm sorry, if they're joining forces and you got to deal with a robotic Megn and a robotic Chucky, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I'm out. I'm done.
Why would you even buy them both?
And here's my second question: if you were going to do that, the people that did Megn pushed hard to make it PG-13. There's no way that you can make Chucky PG-13. You could, but it would take away from the whole essence of even what the remake Chucky is. It kind of just defeats I don't want to see a fucking PG-13 fucking Chucky.
No. That's where the comic part comes into that. Even though this was PG-13 and there wasn't really hee-hee ha-has, it was, kind of serious the whole entire time. It was the structure of it. It kept it that way. It kept it in with the actors and Megn itself. But if you add Chucky into that mix, you're going to have some kind of a different story dynamic.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be a hell of a lot fucking gorier.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
there was no boobies in the show.
No. Well, it's PG-13.
13-year-old. Think of a 13-year-old boy. Don't tell me. Just don't tell me.
But you don't want to give it to them. That's fucking, what is that? Fucking.
Believe me, they already looking out in all the movies. And that one movie ain't good. Yes, it.
We're going to hell.
Yeah, bro.
We're going straight to hell. We're going straight to hell. That is fucking horrible. All right, so if they were to fight, who you got your money on, Megn or Chucky?
I'm going for Megn.
Yeah,
Chucky's too short. Now, if they grow up Chucky a little bit and maybe give her some of the or give him some of the technology that she does, we could be talking different.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Nope.
And she was able to, like, the strength, the fucking running. She could run like a goddamn animal. Like her processing ability. Yeah, her processing abilities were. And now Chucky did have some of the same abilities that she did, because if you remember, he was able to tap into a vehicle and took control of a vehicle in it.
Yeah.
And killed that one lady with the vehicle because he was able to tap in and do that. So he does have a lot of the same capabilities technical wise that Megn did, but I don't know how that's going to fucking benefit him when they both have the same goddamn ability. So I think she'd fuck him up.
She's smarter. I mean, when you look at the two when it comes to that, depending on who she's linked up with, but how she is in this story, she is a lot smarter and she learns from all those things. So whatever he does, unless he has that same mentality, he's gonna just he can die.
I agree. So we're getting to the point of the show. We now have to give it a rating. So on that, what do you give it?
Let's give it an 8.
An 8?
It's an 8. I would give it a little bit higher, but I got to have more gore. I got to see the stuff, guys. I'm a realistic. That's why I like my other ones where, oh yeah, that can really happen. Cool. So I'm gonna give it an 8, and because it didn't have no titties, and you know how I feel about titties.
Okay. So because, and this is because it was super impressive. And let me start off. I know I said it throughout the whole thing. The storyline was amazing. Designs were amazing. The whole thing was fucking amazing. I'm giving it a 10.
Ooh.
And the reason I'm giving it a 10 is because they made it so goddamn good and still remaining to be PG-13.
True.
And it did not take away from the movie.
No.
It didn't take away from the scares. It didn't take away from what they had. It didn't take away from the storyline. Yeah, you could have added titties. Yeah, you could have added more gore. But then you're going to lose that PG-13 rating. It's going to be rated R, and then you're on a whole nother level. But being able to be somebody who was confined by a PG-13 rating, and they're still able to make it that goddamn good, because I've never seen another good PG-13 fucking horror film other than that one.
So far, this is one of the better ones. That's for sure. I can't give that analogy yet. But as we go along, this is one of the top movie ones that I can put into the tier. And then maybe later down the road, we can kind of rank at the end. I don't know, at the end of our seasons, maybe we can see which ones that we actually liked. And, you know.
Right. So on that, it is good. It's a pass. We love it here at Caffeine Injection. And until next Thursday, we are getting the fuck out of here. Please do not forget to join us tonight for Buzzkill Cinema, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, American Werewolf in London. Watch it. Join in on the discussion. We'll be with Easy and Mike Slash this evening. Until then, y'all have a wonderful day. We out.
Bye, guys.